bless you, scopers. My last scope of the night. I want to talk to you about life's too short. If you think about all the things that go on in families, all the things that go on in relationships, all the things that go on in a company, and we think of all the needless minutes that are being spent on arguments and disagreements when life's too short for it. I mean, I see family after family fighting over some issue that's not that important when life is fleeting, life is ephemeral. You don't know from 1 minute to tomorrow's not promised. So while you're not talking to your brother or not talking to your sister, while you're mad at your mother, you don't even know if they're promised the next day. And many times in families, we need to abandon some of these petty arguments, petty disagreements, petty, uh, petty matters. Because life's so short. While you're arguing with them, while you're fighting with them, you don't know whether they'll even be on the scene tomorrow. Many times I take the higher ground, even sometimes when I know I'm right, because I've learned to realize that life's so short. Life is so precious. You're not promised the next day. Sometimes you're not even promised the next moment. The scriptures declare that it's appointed unto man once to die, and after this the judgment. No one knows your appointment date. No one knows your time. No one knows your season. Scripture, while Moses' lament in Psalm, come on, Moses' lament in Psalm, why can't I remember that Psalm? Well, in Genesis, the days of man are threescore, are fourscore, are threescore and 10. And by reason of strength, they be fourscore. That comes from Moses' lament that's recorded in Psalm, wow, I can't believe I didn't remember that. 90, Psalm 90. Psalm 90 says that the days of man are threescore and 10, and by reason of strength they be fourscore. So at best you're talking about 70 to 80 years. But the book of James comes back and says, what is man's life? It's even as a vapor. Life's too short. You're here today, and a lot of times you're gone today. Why? Don't, have this thing going with your loved one, with your coworker. Don't spend needless time arguing over petty matters when tomorrow's not promised. You need to live your life to the full. You need to endeavor to make the most of every moment. You got to maximize the moment, maximize your minutes, maximize your seconds, because tomorrow's not promised. You don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know what tonight holds. Life's too short for some of these petty battles. Life's too short for you not to be speaking to your mom. Life's too short for you not to be speaking to your sister or brother. Life's too short to not be speaking to a cousin that you grew up in the same house with or played with in the same house with for year after year. Life's too short to have it out with your neighbors. Life's too short for a church member in the same auxiliary for you not to be speaking with them. Life's too short for so many of these petty battles. Many times the battle rages on, but the two parties involved in the battle, or the multiple parties that are involved in the battle, while the battle may rage, they may be gone off the scene. You don't have time. But however, you need to make time at times to, because life's too short. You don't have time for all the petty battles, but you need to treasure your relationships. I see constantly, on a constant basis, when someone's loved one has passed away, and they didn't, one person, for whatever reason, they may not have had things right with the person that's passed away. And I see them, I see the scene from Imitation of Life over and over again. I see Sarah Jane regretting how she treated her mother. I see some brother regretting how he treated his sister, some sister regretting how she treated, uh, and even parents regretting how they treated a child, or a child many times how they treated a parent. Look, folks, life's too short. Life's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. Well, you got to give up some of these petty battles. What if you win the battle, but you lose the soul? What if you win the argument, but you forever lose the relationship? What if you come out on top, but then the other person's gone from the scene? Is it worth it to be right at all costs? Is it worth it to always champion your cause? Is it worth it always to beat in the head that you were the one that was right? When life is so short, life is so precious. People are here today and they're gone today. Don't be concerned about winning every battle, every argument, every disagreement, every every situation that you're in, because life's so precious. It's very precious. It's exceedingly precious. It's fleeting. It's ephemeral. You don't know from one day to the next what a day holds. How about making sure that you got it right with them? Don't let the sun go down on your wrath. You know, how many husband and wives have determined that they weren't going to speak to each other, and then something happens that's tragic, and they wish that they could have that moment back? How many children have, treated their mother bad, and then something tragic happens and they wish they had that moment back? Life's too short. We got to make better decisions with our time. We got to maximize our time, but we also need to maximize our relationships. You got to think of the next person, the next man, or the next loved one as if, there's no time left on the clock. You don't have the luxury of saying, well, I'll just get it right with them a month down the road. A month down the road, they may be already dead and buried. You got to make it right with them right now on this side of the grave. Sometimes you got to be the bigger man or the bigger woman and take the blame. But you got to try to save the relationship. God has invested so much in you. He's invested so much in your loved ones too. Don't allow petty disagreements, petty arguments, petty matters to sever your relationship when you know that tomorrow's not promised. Life is so short and life is so precious. Let that be your calling card in your relationships with those that you love from now on. Love them as much as you can, as hard as you can, as often as you can, because you don't know when will be the very last time. God bless you.